you hear me okay? G'day, g'day, g'day. Wait, I'm not Australian. Sorry, I can be a bit silly sometimes. Okay, good, yeah, because this took a bit for my brother to help me set up, and I know it looks crappy compared to streams you're probably used to seeing, because my brother is a stream watcher, not a stream, broadcaster, so he had to learn as he went, just as much as I learned watching him learn as he went. It took forever to figure out how to load this really bare bones basic chat window thingy into OBS like we see in other streams. And even then, we couldn't figure out how to make it like matchy and fancy. He installed this thing called Stream Elements because that's what he heard from a couple of his friends who stream on Twitch, what they use. And they said it worked for YouTube. So, yeah. He's been tinkering with Stream Elements, helping me out for like the past 2 hours. And I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be on tonight because it is, late/early. I don't know what to call this time. Okay, let's say it's 3 o'clock a.m. Is that early morning or late at night? Because it's still dark out, like sleep time. But it's still called a.m. So am I streaming early or am I streaming late? Oh, and get this everyone. Okay, so just like we were working on setting this up to go on YouTube, I checked my TikTok, and out of nowhere, boom, I got approved to do TikTok streams. And then I showed it to my brother, and he was like, "Oh, I think I get why they didn't let you do it before. You didn't have enough followers before." So he went ahead and looked it up. Apparently you need at least 1,000 followers on TikTok before you have a shot at getting approved to go live on there. And so despite my little notifications constantly being told to go live, I couldn't because I didn't have 1,000 followers. Which I think is kind of silly that, to do something basic like go live, you need, a whole bunch of people following you. But from what I've seen, a lot of people find lives just by scrolling the FYP on TikTok. They don't really have to follow somebody to see their live. So great, now at some point I have to learn how to do this VTuber thing on a whole different platform. Because apparently OBS, what my brother installed to stream here, is not what they use to do TikTok live, at least to do it as a VTuber. Because most people just use their phone cameras and show themselves, but obviously I can't do that as a VTuber. I have to use the computer program. But they can't make it easy. They can't let me use OBS. I have to use their program. So I may spend my free time after work this week, like, really figuring out these softwares to maybe make my streams look a bit better, both here and on TikTok, because, yeah, right now, aside from this beautiful background and this overlay that's all watery looking, this layout is, well, ugly, just admit it. Like, look at this chat window. That is ugly and illegible, but it was the best my brother could do in, like, 30 minutes. And if you're wondering why I sound kind of like I'm talking into a metal bowl, it's because I still haven't found my good microphone that I used to use at our old house for the brief time I did audios. Like, I have no idea where it is. Like, we tore through every box in the den where the family computer is, where it should be. That'd be the obvious spot, but no, wasn't there. So we're thinking maybe it got mistakenly put with, like, my dad's work stuff. Because for a while, he was doing, like, work from home on Zoom and would borrow the microphone to use instead of the crappy headset his boss gave him. So it may be fine with this stuff, but that means I can't look for it until he's awake, because heaven forbid he catches me going through his boxes of stuff without him supervising. You know, I don't think my dad has anything that, like, I shouldn't see. My dad's not that kind of guy. It's not like I'd find, like, nudie mags or anything. Like, that's the polar opposite of my dad, believe you me. My brother is the nudie mag guy in this household. So yeah, the mic I'm using is a old headset that my brother used to use when gaming. But he got, like, a really, really good one for Christmas this last year. So he's been using that, and he just kind of shoved this one aside. So he's like, here, you can use it until you find your good mic again. So that also means I have no freaking clue when audios are gonna get made. I'm sorry. Because who wants a relaxing audio on, like, a 5-year-old gaming headset? Thank you for the compliments about it looking good, because, yeah, I personally put in the effort to do, like, this detail work, because I wanted it to have this, like, water overlay, because, like, I'm a mermaid, you know? So I figured out how to take this looping video clip of, like, an underwater scene and, like, make it more see-through. I did that without my brother. I am so proud of myself. Like, he was surprised I was able to do that. He was like, how did you? I'm like, I don't know. I just clicked a bunch of things till this happened. So it's kind of a happy accident. And if you're wondering where the background came from, like my model and this cool microphone thingy in front of me, it came from an artist on Etsy. I just, like, bought it for a few dollars. So this model, okay, so this model is a pre-made Etsy model, but, this person I've known online for a while who, I call her an on and off Vtuber, because lately she's been streaming with just herself and not really using her model. But she showed me how to install the VTube Studio thing, and showed me how to, like, go in and change things like hair color, eye color, stuff like that. Because when I saw the original version of this model, it looked close enough, aside from, like, hair and eye color, to the design of my OC, then I'm like, if I can figure it this, I can make it work. So she showed me how to tinker, and it works. Like, it looks pretty good. Like, if you look at this compared to the the AI art my brother would make for me of my persona. Yes, it was not obvious. My thumbnails are all AI. See me. I don't really know what I'm doing with this kind of stuff. I'm not the tech person in the household. That's my brother. And he is like super duper into anime and the waifu thing. So he likes to use this thing called Novel AI to make his like ideal waifus. And so I told him, hey, I need characters for my thumbnails. If I told you what they look like, could you make them? He's like, sure, give me 5 minutes. And 5 minutes later, there were a bunch of pictures for me to pick from. And yeah. So yeah, a lot of stuff doesn't exist anymore since last time I used this channel. Like, the Discord's gone. And it's gone for more than one reason. Like, basically, when I got really busy and couldn't work on content, I felt bad because I wasn't, like, utilizing the channel a lot. And I was also just forgetting to check the server. And so a lot of people were, like, going in there like it was a ghost town. So after about a month, I talked to the head mod who helped me build it. And I was like, can we just, like, take this down? If I'm not gonna be able to do the YouTube thing, really, there's really no point in keeping this. And he agreed, and so it got taken down. And I personally haven't used my personal Discord in forever because I was getting harassed in some other servers I was in. And then, well, during the last few years, I wasn't on here. I was dating somebody. And let's just say our relationship did not go well. We did not split, like, on even terms. And he got really obsessive and stalkery. And one of the things he used to use was Discord to, like, try to stalk me and get in contact with me, despite me telling him I wanted nothing more to do with him. So I'm like, I don't need Discord to live. Like, I'm not a gamer. I'm barely a content creator. Like, people who rely on Discord and Discord servers is not me. I've even, like, heard that people use Discord for servers for, like, stuff in their sex lives, like kinks and whatnot. And there are ones for Aquaphilia, but I'm like, I don't need that in my life, okay? Like, I'm not asexual, but at the same time, I'm seeking out sexualized content. And I don't need to talk to a group of people about a kink. The only person I need to really talk to a kink about is the person I'm dating, thank you very much. And yeah, also, you probably noticed the Patreon got taken down. They didn't say why. They just said they weren't going to reinstate it. So, I reached out to another ASMR creator with a Patreon, and I wanted their input, and they said, well, it was probably a few exclusive audios on there that weren't, like, too, like, X-rated. It was the fact that they had what we call in the underwater community a bad end. Or basically either the character or the listener drowns and passes away in the end. They get unalived. And I had no idea that that stuff was not allowed on Patreon, but apparently it must be. They must have, like, really tweaked their rules and saying, like, even this, even though it's clearly pretend, it's clearly story, it's clearly acting, it's not allowed, and they shut it down. So I am looking for an alternative to Patreon, and people were suggesting, well, if you're going to do, like, 18 plus ones, why not just use, like, Fanfully or one of those similar, like, type of pages? considering you publish those videos anyway. And I don't want no part of those platforms. Because there's an assumption that if you're posting to those things, that it's going to be more than just spicy audio. I'm going to somehow acquire a model that's going to get more sexualized, or heck, even like post sexualized stuff of my actual self. Well, hello, okay? Like, I just graduated university. Like, I just did. And this, late summer, I think it's like end of August, I started my master's program. And, like, what prevalent those fan sites are, last thing I need is to post spicy stuff of my actual self, and then someone I know from campus finding it, and then I get real life harassment. So, like, there's gotta be something that's like Patreon, but not like as strict and babied as Patreon it seems to be. Someone suggested fourth wall, but I looked into it and I don't think it allows 18 plus, so I'll have to really go through their guidelines, but I don't know. And then several artists I've talked to, they use this thing called Subscribestar, but apparently now if you apply for an adult content Subscribestar adult page, it could take forever for them to approve you. Like, apparently one of my artist friends, when they finally got theirs set up, they were waiting like 4 months for their page to be approved. When there was like barely anything there for them to take issue with. And there are, like, from what I've heard, there are like audio-only platforms that like you can paywall NSFW audios, but they're not known. Like, I had to like read about them on old blogs and whatnot, so that seems a little out of the way, you know? Like, Patreon was so easy. Like, everybody knows Patreon. It was easy to use, easy to link to, and everything else. Have to resort to a strange platform no one's ever heard of and get trust issues broken because they're like, well, they've heard of Patreon, they've heard of the fans pages, but this mysterious website, how do they know it's not gonna like steal their information and dox them? Because, yeah, like, that's what, like, a friend of mine who made their own website for art commissions. Keep on, this is for safer work art commissions, where they can take payments directly and do invoices directly. Like, people have issue paying her directly through that because they're like, well, how do we know we're not just gonna save our information and sell it? And she's like, really? I had portraits and landscapes. I'm not in the business of stealing your business, you know? And by the way, I do have a tipping page, and the PayPal attached to that is my friend's PayPal. Because I just use mine for, I just use mine for, like, paying for stuff. I don't have a bank attached to it. Because I don't want to worry about my limited student bank account, like, getting random money ripped out of it by PayPal, because I've heard that happening. So, I'm sharing it with that artist friend with her own website, and she said she'll let me know once an obvious tip goes through to her account, and she'll pay me cash, because I work with her. We're co-workers at the store, so I see her at least 3 days a week. But yeah, once my brother was able to figure out how to get back into my Google account and load it, like get like YouTube to recognize it, it blew my mind. And they're like, okay, you did it on your laptop, now do it on the big computer. And for some reason, our computer was like, no. Even, I downloaded like 4 different browsers onto the computer to try it, and Google on that computer was like, no. So my brother has a theory that because that computer is plugged directly into the router for our internet, whatever, like, firewalls or anything my dad had put in is, like, going right into my computer, so that's why a lot of stuff doesn't work. But my brother uses just the Wi-Fi, and sometimes he's a sneaky son of a bitch, and he will use Wi-Fi off his phone for his laptop by making it a hotspot. And he does that so he can look at, you know, hentai and Rule 34 and those 40 things, because, yes, even though we're all technically adults, my family has parental controls on our stupid internet. And, like, shouldn't they have, like, all, like, got taken down the moment, like, we all surpassed being 18? Like, come on, like, I love boobs. What's gonna kill me about seeing a stranger by chance by, like, scrolling the internet? Like, come on. I don't think it's my innocence they're worried about anymore. I think it's more so they really just don't want my brother sitting on the computer all the time, perusing porny things, and being one of those kind of guys. They want him to have a life. They already get kind of pissy that he games as much as he does. You know, he has a job, like, he works, but his hours are weird because of where he works. He works at a restaurant as a server, and they always, like, move his hours around every other week, so he knows when he's gonna have time off in advance. So when he does get a day off, or, you know, gets a late shift or an early shift and has extra time, he hops on the game and hits up his buddies, you know? And personally, I see nothing wrong with the fact that, like, he works, you know, he uses his own money for his stuff, like, he doesn't bum off for parents. If he wants to use his time to play video games and peruse weird anime, like, that's his prerogative. He's an adult like I am. I like the anime art style. I know it's kind of weird. I've maybe watched, like, a handful of shows my entire life, and I didn't finish all of them. But I just think the art style's pretty. Like, I have a lot of the books. Like, they're manga, right? Manga, the comic books. I have a few series that I've collected, and what appealed to me is seeing them at the bookstore, and the art styles right through the cover was like, ooh, pretty. And then I started reading them and liking them and collecting them. That's about the extent of my attachment to this bit of pop culture. I just like the art style. I just think it's very pretty and elegant. It's like almost Disney-ish, like from like the 90s without that specific Disney look, but prettier, if that makes sense. Like, my brother makes fun of me because when I put Netflix on, all I'm watching is, like, The Office over and over again, or sometimes Gilmore Girls, or Gossip Girl, or basically old shows that were popular with the millennials that my older sister used to watch when I was younger. And I want to see what all the hubbub's about with what my sister was watching, so I like my sister. We kind of like the same thing, so I want to see what she liked, you know? What's so good about it. Like, I don't have as much free time as people would like me to have, like, when my classes are in session, because, like I said, I just graduated from my bachelor's program, but my master's program starts in a couple months. So while I was busy with university, when I didn't have classes, I had work at the store I work at. And then when I wasn't doing that, I was, you know, doing coaching for, basically, I'm not quite professional level yet, but almost there for diving, like Olympic style diving, you know? And I'm thinking about taking classes to learn how to swim better, even though I'm not bad at swimming by any means. Just because it's like really good exercise. So yeah, between like me taking classes that, you know, to improve my health and improve my skills in the water, and then my actual classes to help me work towards my career goals, and then the job I'm working, so I can pay my own expenses because my parents are those kind where when you become an adult and can legally get a job, the only thing they pay for is the roof over our head and the food we eat. And anything extra, like if I want to buy clothes or makeup, or if I want to like eat out at like fast food or restaurant and not eat what they cook, that's all on me. I have to use my own money. I also have to buy my own stuff for school. My parents didn't pay for college for me. I didn't take out a loan. So I was kind of hoping, like, doing these audios, especially since people seem to like them, despite them being, like, short and simple and very, very niche, could potentially be, like, a little bit of extra, like, spending money. Because I have gone down this rabbit hole of swimwear, oh my gosh, where there are, like, really pretty, like, one-piece swimsuits, and then there's, like, pretty rash guards and stuff. But for some reason, these companies are ridiculously expensive, and I get it. I looked at the materials. Materials alone are probably why it's so much money. And a lot of these companies are based in America, so they're charging American prices compared to the cheaper, you know, companies that get everything from overseas manufactured and can be cheap. Because I really want, like, a really, really good, supportive, like, one-piece swimsuit for diving. Because, I don't want to give out too much TMI, but ever since I started being more athletic in my spare time, I dropped a lot of weight since I started this whole content creation thing. Like, I'm not skinny mini by any means, but I'm not, like, the plump girl I used to be. I'm a bit more toned. But because of, like, getting toned and working out my body, my chest is just a little too big for the more affordable one-piece diving suits I can find right now. I need something with more support. And everything with more support is, like, $300. And my mom and dad are very hands-off once we became adults. Like, they care about us. Like, for example, if I got into a car accident and was rushed to the hospital, they'd be there in a heartbeat and be supportive. But aside from things like that, like, if I just want to go shopping or treat myself to food that, you know, they don't want, I have to take care of myself. And I understand they don't have the money to pay for college for any of us. Like, my sister had to pay for her own college too. like what money they have they're saving for retirement, which is understandable. Because with how I've been hearing how expensive the economy is getting, I do worry about them when they retire, how they're going to afford things, especially when my dad stops working. Yeah, like, okay, 300, like, is a lot to me. Because, keep in mind, I still have to, like, pay for things for myself. Like, I decided to get a new phone before my old phone was due for an upgrade. So I had to pay for it, like, upfront in cash. And I saved up for it. So, dropping all that money at once, which was, like, a couple of months worth of paychecks from working the store that didn't go towards other of my expenses. I'm sitting in the bank right now. Other than what I set aside for, like, my lunch breaks and whatnot. And when I mentioned to my brother I wanted to be active on TikTok, he just laughed at me because he's like, nobody makes money on TikTok unless they get like millions and millions and millions of followers. And even then, they make money from like sponsors, not the platform. It's not like YouTube with like the partner program thingy. And he doubts that like any sponsors that work with TikTokers would sponsor what in their eyes is a cartoon character. So I more so just want to use TikTok for like exposure. Like I know they don't like it when you try to redirect traffic off the platform. There's right people who do it, try to do it very subtly. Especially those certain kinds of girls who post certain kinds of content and want the people to go to certain links they post in their bios, if you know what I mean. Like, they gotta be real stealthy and sneaky about that. Oh man, I refuse to do those pay over time things. Like, my dad does work in the finance industry, and he told me straight up, like, those buy now, pay later things are basically kind of scammy. They're like those payday loans, where if you're not careful, you can very easily wind up doing nothing but pay interest for forever, and not actually pay back the thing you borrowed money for, or were splitting up payments for in the first place. Like, I have, like, a debit card for my bank, and then I have one credit card. And the credit card, I think, has a limit of, like, $500 in credit. And I literally just use that to put gas in my car. And it's my car card. Because, like, I'm already technically in debt with student loans. I don't want to enter adulthood already, like, you know, technically thinking, you know? I want a fair shot. I know for Gen Z, that's a lot to ask for, but I want to give it a try. Because my major in university was biochem, and I'm getting my master's because basically I may want to go to medical school to be a pharmacist, but if I don't go that route, I at least want to be able to be like, you know, a researcher in a lab that, you know, works on like developing new medications and that vaccines and all those controversial things, because I just want to be the kind of person that helps people. I'm kind of jealous of my sister. She moved out during the years that I wasn't active on this part of the internet much. But that's because she got engaged. I am happy for her. I am. Like, she didn't find a guy who is not a complete and total asshole, but he still rubs me the wrong way. I'll just leave it at that. There's something about him that sets off my own internal red flags and the ick, but there's no telling anything to my sister. Like, this is the one. He's the one who put a ring on her finger to propose, and it's a really fancy, smancy ring, because I will admit, like, if she marries him, she probably would not have to worry about working, like, ever again. Like, she could be a stay-at-home housewife, or even a stay-at-home mom if she has a kid. Because, yeah, he makes that much money. But at the same time, I hope she's not marrying him for the money, because that's not a good reason to get married. Because he's a very loud kind of guy. Like, he doesn't understand the concept of inside voice. And as a neurodivergent, shy, awkward girl, a grown man who doesn't have an inside voice just makes me, like, want to curl up in a ball and cry sometimes. Let's see, what time is it? Okay. I can maybe stay out here another, like, 20 minutes, but it's, like, 3:25 here in Chicago, and I was hoping to get to bed by 4, because if I fall asleep between 4 and 4:30, because I'm in my pajamas now, I can wake up between, like, 10 and 11, late it's noon, and still be okay to get ready to go to our Memorial Day family thing in the evening for the barbecue. But if I sleep any later than noon, like if any of us kids sleep later than noon, our parents get really mad because they cook breakfast and by the time it's noon, it's lunchtime in their eyes, and we wasted breakfast they prepared for us. So if I'm like super duper tired, even if I was staying up super late studying, I always make sure to be up before noon, just as a courtesy to, especially my mom, so I don't get, like, yelled at about being wasteful and lazy and everything boomers like to say to young folk. Oh, I turned on the community feature on this channel, so I think that means that people other than me can make posts on there. So if any of you have ideas for audios, feel free to leave them as posts in the community section. Just keep in mind there is kind of a theme to my content, so try to stick within the theme, if that makes sense. And I'm not really much of a voice actress, so I don't want to try to mimic any, like, characters from cartoons or anything. Like, I know other, audio creators could do that sometimes, but that's not me. I just kind of do my own thing. Because, yeah, like, I'm just one person, and my brain going up with so many ideas for a specific niche, so getting input from you all will definitely help. And I didn't realize that until someone left a comment that Kitty's channel, like, that's her channel that came back. That wasn't what I thought it was. Like, I thought that Kitty Mink's channel that's up now, if someone else set something up and somehow had an archive of all of her content they put up. I didn't realize that that's her. Because, yeah, I heard through the grapevine that, like, out of nowhere, a few years ago, her channel just got, like, the boot, and she couldn't get it back, and she was struggling to get content out there, and she has this stuff going on in her personal life. I lost touch with her, honestly. Like, I don't think I've corresponded with her one-on-one in 2.5, almost 3 years. And something with her, it's just like, you know, she was stressed about the channel and everything, and stuff that was simultaneously going on in her personal life that I am not equipped to deal with at all. Like, it's heavy stuff she was dealing with. I was legit worried about her. Like, I was so terrified that she would, like, disappear and never come back in a bad way, if you know what I mean. And plus, I just got, like, really busy with school, and then I started dating that guy who turned out to be an asshole freak, and so I just lost contact. Yeah, I watched, I just, like, while I was setting this up, I was, like, watching/listening to that video she put out with her VTubers, explaining what went on in the years she was gone and how she learned about her channel coming back. No, like, if it was taken down for, like, reasons that break guidelines, like, wouldn't it still break guidelines? And not go back up? Like, were there, like, new YouTube employees that were going through terminated channels who have different opinions? Because I know political channels got reinstated after last election. Like, that was big news. But I think that would apply to people like, you know, audio creators, you know? And I do not know this person personally at all. We had, like, one interaction on my old Twitter account that was, like, positive leaning neutral. But I would laugh if Dude That's Wholesome, Dude That's Looted YouTube account came back. Because I heard that one, like, got taken down in, like, 2020 or 2021 and never came back. So I bet, like, I'm like Kitty, I bet she actually did post stuff that really broke guidelines, considering just the name of the channel alone kind of gets you thinking certain things. Whereas, considering the number of audios Kitty's posted, and most of them, in my opinion, seem really tame. Like, it's just like, just going by percentage of the pie, her old stuff, yeah, it really toes the line, but things she started posting after, like, the pandemic is, like, relatively tame. So, I'm totally shocked her channel got reinstated, especially if it got terminated just because of sponsor links. Like, if it got terminated because of sponsor links and not because of her content, then yeah, it's really no surprise that, like, if they don't care about the links or got rid of the links, that her stuff came back. Well, I have this theory about mouth sounds and why YouTube hates them. And I think it's because of those women on platforms like Twitch that do ASMR live streams with those really expensive microphones with the ears on them. And they'll like get all up in front of the camera and like lick and slurp all over the microphone ears, all the while barely wearing more than like skimpy nighttime clothes or gym wear or even just like, underwear, fancy lingerie. Barely skating by with the guidelines. And I bet enough of those clips phoned up on YouTube that type of audio content was deemed sexual by those in charge because they're sexual. Like, I'm sorry, like, mouth sounds don't need to be porny, like, you can just do them in, like, a t-shirt and sweatpants with your hair in a messy bun. You don't need to be wearing a push-up bra and booty shorts and a full beat face and makeup, all up in the camera, slipping your tongue all over the ears of, like, a $2,000 microphone. Like, it's no wonder some people get this audio thing misconstrued as, like, a fetish. It's not an energy when you can't even see what the person's doing, like, for us to do audio only. Because we can't see what's going on, I can see why, like, they would program the mod bots to, like, air on the side of, this is sexual. Because they can't, like, see what the creator's doing. Like, they can't see that the creator was just recording it in, like, baggy sweats and a hoodie and, clearly not wanting to be sexy at all. But they can't see that, so they're probably gonna assume it's like those, sexualized Twitch girls doing it. I'm shocked that my brother, as pervy as he is, does not watch those streamers. Like, he thinks they take it too far. He's like, if you're gonna go to the length to toe guidelines that much, just be a cam girl. And if I want to watch cam girls, I'll watch cam girls. That's what he says. What was that? Oh, right, yeah. So yeah, he just heard me. He said, yeah, if I want to watch cam girls, I go on Chattermate, not Twitch. He's being unusually sweet right now, because every time I start feeling, like, nervous, I'll, like, glance at him, and he's, like, looks up and, like, gives me a thumbs up with a big dorky smile. Yes, I'm talking about you, doofus. He just gave me a weird face. Like, I appreciate the support, but goodness. Oh, that was a big yawn. Good lord. Lord almighty. Yeah, it's definitely getting late. Because I'm starting to feel it. I've been awake since 8:30 in the morning, and I never took a nap or anything, so I'm fine. Yeah, no wonder I'm starting to get a little, like, tired and eepy. Yeah, my brother is like, tapping his wrist to signify that it is getting late, and both of us should probably hit the hay soon so we don't risk oversleeping and pissing off our parents. Especially because we have to go to my uncle's house for the Memorial Day barbecue, and if we're late, my dad is gonna make sure we're not gonna hear the end of it. But, okay, so, those of you who, watch, streams and VTuber streams, how would you rate this one for a first try? And keep in mind, I'm doing this on, a gaming laptop, not even a full PC. Because I was, really nervous that because it doesn't look as good as, pretty much every other VTuber out there, that people think I'm janky, which is a janky stream, I'm not gonna lie. But you think it'd be good, would y'all, if I were to stream again, basically, at a better time of day, would you all come again and hang out with me, basically? And especially if I can find my good microphone, so I sound less like I'm talking into a metal trash can. Yeah, I am aware my voice sounds really weird. I'm surprised some, weirdo hasn't come in here and accused me of being a man with a voice changer or something. I got that on my videos, and I'm like, no! I just slightly modified my voice because when I first started making audios, I was terrified, and I mean terrified. Someone at my college would come across it, recognize my voice, and embarrass me. But I don't go so far as completely disguise it. I just kind of little tweak of a pitch shift, if that makes sense. So it still sounds like me, but not totally like me. So if someone's like, "Hey Cass, I found these weird audio things with drowning people on YouTube. It sounds like you. Are you that weirdo?" I can be like, "Well, does it sound just like me? No. Well, then clearly it's not me now, is it?" Oh, thank you. It means a lot that, especially with the effort we were able to put on it. I'm so sorry I keep slurring my words. I'll admit, this evening after dinner, my brother and I split a wine bottle, but I was sober when I started streaming. Apparently there's still a little bit left in my system. So yeah, I should probably definitely go to bed just to get whatever drunk is in me gone so I can just get up and have a day. Thank you. And maybe at some point I can save up money, especially if I earn money either through YouTube ads or something like Patreon again, where I could really have a model look like just how I imagine my OC to look, and not just use something I modified. Because even the AI art my brother makes isn't 100% how I envision the character in my head. It's close, but it's not 100%. So it'd be cool to get one of those like nicer models that like looks how I picture it, where I can tell an artist like, this is exactly what's in my brain. Can you make it work? And okay, so the links in my bio now are to my TikTok and my Twitter. Those are the only public socials I'm comfortable sharing that are tied to my personal life. So feel free to follow me on there. And yeah, if anybody finds like a platform that's like Patreon, but not as dumb, so I can get my exclusive stuff back out there and earn money towards things like a new Vtuber model, that would be fantastic. But right now, you can like do stream tips through PayPal. It's gonna go to my friend first, and then she'll give it to me. But I know it's not the same as like Patreon was, where we pay a couple dollars and get audios that definitely would not fly on here. That would get me banned worse than kitty ones. Oh, you guys are just so sweet. I forgot how sweet my community was, albeit I'm small and growing. I think it was a tragic thing when I started getting busy and couldn't really do content for a while. And to the point where I kind of forgot that, like, I was forming a community with, like, really awesome, supportive people. And then, without much of a word, I just screwed off the face of the earth. And I genuinely feel bad about that. I do feel bad. But sometimes life is life. But hopefully I will find that microphone. I'll ask my dad, not in the morning, because he's going to be busy, talking to my relatives about what to bring for the barbecue. But maybe when we get home from the barbecue, I can ask him where he thinks the microphone may be, if it's with his stuff. I looked into Ko-fi. Ko-fi does not allow NSFW. I found that out because people can pay for Ko-fi via like PayPal and Stripe, and those processors don't allow NSFW. You risk like everything getting like taken down. Like that's one of the reasons why like I saw artists on Twitter were like getting their PayPal's closed, is because they advertise on Ko-fi that they do not safe for work art. But anyway, because I can't do Patreon anymore, I will look for an alternative and hopefully get back to it pretty soon, because I still have the old Patreon audios on the hard drive on the family PC, so it won't take long to put them back up somewhere. Okay, it is very late, it's almost 4, so unfortunately I do have to say good night, good morning, and maybe later this week, on a day when I don't have to go work at the store or anything, I could try this again at a time that's not middle of the night for everybody in America. Anyway, good night, good morning. I will try to keep you all updated best I can on like content and everything else. keep an eye on that community page, and again, feel free to submit ideas and watch the shorts feed because I can really easily make shorts on my phone. So that's a good way for me to keep people in the loop. Hey, you guys have a good Memorial Day, especially my fellow Americans, and I will see you all later. Good night. Mwah, mwah, mwah.